Kuala Lumpur. The passionate efforts by Malaysia to get the world's attention in ending the plight of Rohingya in Myanmar has gained momentum in shifting global opinion. It has spurred world leaders to speak up on the issue and for the Myanmar government to take steps to stop the aggression against the ethnic minority. In recent months, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak had not only relentlessly raised the issue. It started with his meeting with U.S. President Donald Trump, which resulted in a considerable hardening of the U.S. position. In December last year, Najib led a rally here to protest the ethnic cleansing of the Rohingya community in Rakhine State, and called for world leaders to take action on the matter. He had courageously attended the rally despite being warned by Myanmar against it. "Do you expect me, a leader of over 30 million people, to close my eyes, to stay silent? I will not." Someone tell Myanmar that the ASEAN Charter also protects human rights. They cannot just interpret whatever they like. What do you expect us to do? We are a community of nations. We need to protect the Rohingya, not because they are of the same religion as us, but because they are humans. Their lives matter, Najib had said. Despite protests among anti-Rohingya elements in Myanmar, this pressure led to the meeting of ASEAN foreign ministers to discuss the ongoing military campaign in Rakhine State on December 19, 2016. The meeting led to an extraordinary meeting of the foreign ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation on January 19, where Najib vowed that it was the time to end the crises. How should it be resolved? For a start, the killing must stop. The burning of houses must stop. The violation of women and girls must stop. The persecution of your fellow men and women, simply on the grounds that they are Muslim, must stop. The denial of basic rights to your fellow human beings must stop. Najib had challenged Myanmar to prove themselves worthy of their great traditions and history, as he called for the Myanmar government to cease all discriminatory actions and attacks against the Rohingya immediately, and for the perpetrators to be brought to justice. Najib then persistently raised the issue and had taken actions to help alleviate the sufferings of the Rohingya. The efforts include Malaysia's move to send food aid to the Rohingya refugees in Bangladesh, provide support on the ground, as well as providing a field hospital with 100 beds. Malaysia had also disassociated itself from ASEAN statement on the humanitarian crisis in Rakhine in September, as it made no mention of the Rohingya as one of the affected parties. Najib assured that he would raise the Rohingya's plight with Trump, which at that time was not addressed by the White House. Staying true to his word, the Prime Minister raised this matter in his meeting with Trump and U.S. officials, including Secretary of State Tillerson, which was reflected in the joint statement released by Malaysia and the U.S. following their bilateral discussions, calling for Myanmar government to end violence against innocents and ensure that humanitarian relief reached the victims. They discussed the need to end the humanitarian crisis in Myanmar. Both leaders called for an end to the violence targeting civilian populations, and discussed the need for a strong international community response for the hundreds of thousands of individuals who have been victimized and displaced by violence, including those who have arrived in Bangladesh, the statement read. Following Najib's visit, U.S. State Secretary Rex Tillerson then made a remark about the crisis at Lancaster House in London, saying that the violence must stop and it is vital for Myanmar State Councillor Aung San Suu Kyi to make clear that it was an abomination and the Rohingya should be allowed back. U.S. Vice President Mike Pence also issued a response at a United Nations Security Council meeting, saying that he and Trump had called on the Council to take strong and swift action to bring the crisis to an end and bring hope and help to the Rohingya people in their hour of need, or it would get worse. Tillerson had visited Myanmar and met with Suu Kyi and Myanmar's Army Chief Senior General Min Aung Hlaing on November 22. After a careful and thorough analysis of available facts, it is clear that the situation in northern Rakhine State constitutes ethnic cleansing against the Rohingya. Those responsible for these atrocities must be held accountable, Tillerson said in a statement, adding that the U.S. would pursue accountability through U.S. law, including possible targeted sanctions. Najib, however, did not stop fighting for the issue after raising it during his meeting with Trump. He had also raised the issue during the recent 31 ASEAN summit in Manila. The Prime Minister had said when he raised the issue in Rakhine, Suu Kyi subsequently announced that several efforts were being taken. Malaysia was one of the first countries to call for action, and it had yielded result. Najib had said that he would continue the combat to fight their persecution and displacement. Religion should be about peace, brotherhood and mutual respect. Alas, that has not been the case in Rakhine State. Such persecution not just leads to refugee influxes for neighboring countries, but also incites radicalization and regional instability. We cannot stand by and do nothing. Najib's efforts had been recognized at home, with many acknowledging that they have helped shift global opinion and encourage world leaders to speak up and take action on the matter.